Today we're talking about the new Diadem Edge 18K. Finally, a brand new paddle utilizing some potentially groundbreaking tech for insane spin and control. Let's find out if the hype is real or just a bunch of fluff. So without further ado, let's dink straight into it. The brand new Diadem Edge 18K comes in at $229 and you can get $23 off by using code STSPickleball at checkout, making the price only $206. The new cutting-edge technology utilized in the 18K is the new surface material. Utilizing their state-of-the-art 3D 18K carbon fiber, this paddle uses a unique triaxial weave, incorporating 3 interwoven yarns at 60-degree angles, which gives the face a super unique 3D look. So essentially, traditional unidirectional raw carbon fiber paddles only utilize one direction with their carbon fiber weave. According to Diadem, this leaves you at a disadvantage on certain angles of contact as far as spin goes. The 18K's advanced construction amplifies spin potential at every angle of contact, which gives you an advantage at any angle you strike the ball at. Whew, that's a lot of claims, but to be honest, in my testing, it does all check out. I tried multiple angles of contact across multiple paddles and noticed and measured much higher spin on my slice shots and my flick rolls specifically, which was really cool to see. Christian Alshin, aka Tweener King, recently switched to the new 18K and was able to snag his first doubles medal with it, which was a huge accomplishment. He's also using it in singles, which makes the 18K his new preferred paddle for singles and doubles. I think this makes a ton of sense as it really fits the bill for just about the best doubles paddle you could buy right now, in my opinion. So a huge congratulations to Christian Alshin on picking up a doubles podium finish. So the thickness of the new 18K is 16 millimeters, the grip length is 5.3 inches, and the grip circumference on their website says 4 1/8 inch, but I measured 4 1/4 inch for the circumference. The grip length is a bit smaller than other paddles, but it didn't bug me at all personally. Of course, as talked about before, the surface material of the face is their new 3D 18K carbon fiber material, which according to Diadem is a higher grade and more durable than traditional T700 carbon fiber, which I think is a great innovation. Honestly, I think the paddle just looks badass and on paper should be pretty incredible, but let's jump into some tangible numbers and see what the spin's looking like. Okay, so part of me was skeptical and I was wondering if I'd get out on the court for testing and be let down, but I just wasn't. In fact, I was blown away by the spin this paddle gets. We have a new king of spin in my testing. The 18K came in at 2289 RPM of spin, placing it as the top spinning paddle I've ever tested so far. To compare that to the Volair Mach 1 Forza, which was the previous highest spinning paddle in my testing at 2168 RPM, the 18K does spin more, but it's definitely more control oriented. The Forza has more power and pop, but the new Diadem 18K has more feel and excels in the soft game. So I'll leave it up to you which one you prefer for what you need in your game. And to compare the 18K spin to some big brands, we have the Selkirk 006 coming in at 1833 RPM and the Yola Perseus coming in at 1796 RPM. So the 18K blows both of those paddles out of the water. So the power on the 18K feels solid, but of course being a control oriented paddle, it's not anything super crazy. I think for me it's comparable to something like a Vatic Prism Flash or Prism V7, which is pretty impressive that without the foam injection around the perimeter, it still has good power and pop. I think this has to do with the more durable 18K carbon fiber adding more power off the face. For overhead putaways, I felt like it had enough power where I didn't feel like anything was really lacking. And for drives and serves, the added spin more than made up for the lack of power when comparing to a thermoformed paddle. As the ball was dipping so hard over the net, it was sort of aggressive in its own way. As far as pop goes, which is going to be your hand battles, punch volleys, and flick rolls, it feels very balanced. Not overly poppy, but plenty of pop to get the job done. So for power, I have the 18K coming in at 8.3 out of 10, and for pop, 7.8 out of 10. To compare that to the Prism Flash, which is probably the paddle that it most closely resembles as far as the feel of the power, kind of the feel off the face, the Prism Flash came in at 8.3 out of 10 for power and 7.9 out of 10 for pop. So you can definitely see it's competing and very similar. And to compare that again to the 006 at 8.2 for power and 7.5 for pop, and the Yola Perseus at 7.8 for power and 7.4 for pop. To me, the 18K feels very forgiving and has a solid sweet spot. I really like the feel and the feedback off the face. I feel like the sweet spot for the 18K is leaps and bounds better than the Diadem Edge, which to me felt like it had a really punishing sweet spot and wasn't really forgiving at all. Off-center dinks still found their way over the net, and off-center drives still had plenty of spin to still dip over the net and maintain their aggressive line. So props to Diadem for addressing previous issues on the original Edge paddle. As far as my personal ranking goes for sweet spot, I have the Diadem Edge 18K at 8.7 out of 10, which beats out the Prism Flash at 8.2 out of 10. And of course, to compare that to the 006 at 7.2 and the Perseus at 6.9, you can see it's definitely a very solid sweet spot and pretty forgiving. The feel of this paddle is the best I've ever felt. A true control paddle that still excels in the all-court category. Dinks, flick rolls, and anything relating to spin or the soft game feels great. Plush off the face, but still plenty of power for speed ups at the net. I'd say if you're a control-oriented player, this has to be the best control paddle available right now. My ability to utilize spin while dinking drastically improved with the 18K and has led to more wins overall, which is freaking awesome. So for the feel and soft game category, I gave the 18K a solid 9.5, which is my highest rating by almost an entire point. Up until this point, I haven't found anything that's really wowed me as far as dinking or the soft game goes, and this one honestly just wows me. To compare that to my second highest ranked paddle, the Rhombus R3 Pulsar at 8.6, the Diadem Edge 18K is the landslide victor for feel and soft game and really is the paddle I was waiting for to give a solid rating in this category. And we have the 006 coming in at 7.2 and the Perseus at 7.4. So you can see, for me, this paddle is in a whole other league as far as control goes. I hope you have a freaking awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.